Hello students, today's class we are going to discuss change of phase and latent heat. Okay, and change of phase and other terms you are familiar, you have studied in the lower classes, alright? Okay, we all know that matter exists in three states, namely solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. The same matter can exist in all the three states at different temperatures and different pressure. This the same matter can exist in all the three states under different conditions of temperature and pressure. For example, if you take ice at 0 degrees Celsius, yes, it is on heating, it will be converted into water. Yes, providing heat energy, ice can be converted into water, solid state to liquid state. On further heating, if the temperature rises to 100 degrees Celsius, it will be converted into steam. So the same matter can exist in all the three states of matter: solid, liquid and gaseous state. That is ice, water, steam. That means solid, liquid and gaseous state of matter. So the same matter can exist in all the three states of matter under different conditions of temperature and pressure. Okay. So the process of change of substance from one state to other state at constant temperature is called as change of phase. Here you can see 0 degrees Celsius of ice to water. There is a change of phase. The substance changes from the solid state to the liquid state at constant temperature. So the change of phase is a process in which the substance changes from one state to the other state, but the temperature remains constant during that phase change. That process we call it as the change of phase. Okay. So here if you see that the solid, on absorption of heat energy, it changes into liquid and at constant temperature. The process we call it as melting, and the constant temperature where the substance changes from the solid state to liquid state is called as the temperature, you call it as the melting point of the substance. Clear students? Okay. So change of phase means the substance changes from one state to the other state at constant temperature. It is a process. And when the solid, on absorption of heat energy, it changes into liquid at constant temperature, the process we call it as the melting, and the constant temperature we call it as the melting point of the substance. On further heating, the liquid changes into gaseous state at constant temperature. The process we call it as vaporization, and the constant temperature we call it as the boiling point of the substance. If the substance directly changes from the solid state to the gaseous state, then the process is called as sublimation. Yes. On reverse, on liberation of heat energy, the gaseous state of matter changes into liquid state at constant temperature. The process is called as condensation, and the temperature is called as the condensation point. On liberation of heat energy, liquid changes into solid state at constant temperature. The process is called as freezing, and the temperature at which the substance changes into solid state is called, the temperature is called as the freezing point of the substance. Okay. If the substance is in the pure form, the melting and the freezing points will be, melting point and the freezing points will be identical. Yes, that is, if you take ice at 0 degrees Celsius and the melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius, that is, at 0 degrees Celsius the ice is converted into water. On liberation of heat energy, on cooling, water can be converted into ice, and that temperature will also take place, that is 0 degrees Celsius at constant temperature, provided if the ice is in the pure form. Okay. When the substance is in the pure form, the melting point and the freezing point of the substance will be identical. One more thing, on melting, the substance absorbs heat energy. On freezing, the substance liberates heat energy. For a given mass of the substance, the quantity of heat energy absorbed during melting will be equal to quantity of heat energy liberated during freezing if the substance is in the pure form. Okay. So melting point and freezing point are identical for a pure substance. Second one, for a given mass of the substance, the amount of heat energy absorbed during melting will be equal to amount of energy liberated during freezing if the substance is in the pure form. Okay. So change of phase means change from one state to the other state at constant temperature. Yes. Next one, heating curve of ice during melting. For the drawing this heating curve, I will be conducting an experiment in the laboratory after the school reopens. Now only the theory part I am going to take. You have both experiment as well as that is practical as well as theory also, students. Only theory part I am going to take now. Okay, how to draw a graph. Okay, now let us take ice at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, we are providing some amount of heat energy. Let me take Q amount of heat energy is given. Okay, how long I am giving the heat energy? Till the temperature is, it shows the rise in temperature up to 30 degrees Celsius. We all know that at 30 degrees Celsius, the substance will be in the liquid state, that is water. Okay, and directly it will not be converted into water at 30 degrees Celsius. I will write the process in between. First, 0 degrees Celsius of ice will absorb some amount of heat energy. That amount of heat energy I write it as Q1. Some amount of Q1 amount of heat energy, and first it changes into water. Okay, first ice at 0 degrees Celsius will absorb some amount of heat energy to convert itself completely into water. Then it absorbs some amount of heat energy. Let me take that some amount of heat energy as Q2 to raise the temperature of water up to 30 degrees Celsius. Yes, this one I am going to represent in a graph. That graph we call it as the heating curve for ice, because ice on heating, the temperature rises up to 30 degrees Celsius. We are going to draw the graph for this. Okay, for that we draw a graph by taking time along the x-axis. SI unit of time is second. So I have taken time along the x-axis and temperature along the y-axis. Yes, I have taken time along the x-axis and temperature along the y-axis. What is that equation? I will rewrite the equation here. 0 degrees Celsius of ice absorbs Q1 amount of heat energy to convert itself into water at the same temperature. Water at 0 degrees Celsius rises its temperature up to 30 degrees Celsius. Till then the heat energy is provided. So I write Q1 amount of heat energy is absorbed during this process. The second process, that 0 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius of water, it absorbs Q2 amount of heat energy. Why I have represented different amounts means the quantity of heat energy absorbed by the substance depends on three factors: mass of the substance, specific heat capacity of the substance, that is C, and change in temperature of the substance. Okay, so the quantity of heat energy absorbed by the substance at different states will be different. Okay, we will discuss about it later. First we draw the graph for this one. First one, 0 degrees Celsius of ice, the temperature remains constant till the entire ice is completely be converted into water. See here, we draw a graph by taking time along the x-axis and temperature along the y-axis. At 0 degrees Celsius, the substance is in the solid state and the temperature is not rising, and the temperature remains constant. How long? Till the entire given mass of the ice is completely be converted into water. That is, you are providing the heat energy. When you are providing the heat, up to 120 seconds of heat energy is provided, the temperature of the substance is not increasing. Yes, but the substance changes from the solid state to liquid state. That is, ice is converted into water. After the entire ice is converted into water, then it will show the rise in temperature up to 30 degrees Celsius. Here we are providing the heat energy up to 30 degrees Celsius. So rise in temperature of water from 0 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. This is the way we have to draw a graph when ice at 0 degrees Celsius is heated up to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this graph is called as the heating curve for ice. Okay. We will analyze different portions of the graph. Okay. Let me take the graph as A, B and C. Observe in the graph. At the point A, the substance is, that is ice, solid state. The temperature of the substance is 0 degrees Celsius. The point A represents 0 degrees Celsius. The substance is ice, that is it is in the solid state. Now the point B. The point B is also at the same temperature, that is 0 degrees Celsius. But here the substance is in the liquid state, water. Yes? And point C. The temperature of the substance is 30 degrees Celsius. Can you see here y-axis? 30 degrees Celsius. The point C corresponds to 30 degrees Celsius. But the state of the substance is liquid, that is water. So, the point A and B, the temperature is same, but the substance is in a different state. At A, the substance is ice, solid, temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. At the point B, the temperature is the same, but the substance is in the liquid state. Now B and C you take. At the point B and C, the temperature is different, but the state of matter is the same. At B and C, the substance is in the liquid state, that is water. But the point B corresponds to 0 degrees Celsius and the point C corresponds to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is the way we have to analyze the graph. Okay, actually in the board exam, they may give you the statement and ask you to draw the graph, or they may give the graph, ask you to analyze each point, each portion of the graph. So here AB portion of the graph represents the change of phase. Okay, general name is, it represents change of phase. And what phase to what phase? It changes from solid phase to liquid phase. So solid phase to liquid phase at constant temperature, we call it as melting. So AB portion of the graph represents melting of the substance. Then BC portion of the graph represents the rise in temperature of water. Rise in temperature of water. Because at B the substance is in at 0 degrees Celsius. The same substance at the point C is at 30 degrees Celsius. So BC portion of the graph represents rise in temperature of water from 0 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. AB portion of the graph represents change of phase, that is melting. At A the substance is in the solid state. At B the substance is in the liquid state, but both of them are at the same temperature. Okay, this is the way you have to draw the heating curve for ice. Okay, next one we study. Suppose if I have water at 20 degrees Celsius, okay, and I provide the heat energy till the water is converted into 100 degrees Celsius of steam. Okay, here this graph is called as heating curve for water. This curve is called as heating curve for water. Here I draw the graph by taking time along the x-axis and temperature along the y-axis. Temperature along the y-axis. Now here we write the equation. First 20 degrees Celsius of water. It absorbs heat energy. The maximum temperature the water can have is 100 degrees Celsius. First the temperature of water rises from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Then water at 100 degrees Celsius, further absorption of heat energy, it will be converted into steam. Yes, for this I have to draw the graph. First one, at 20 degrees Celsius, initially the water is at 20 degrees Celsius. Then rise in temperature up to 100 degrees Celsius. Here is the 100 degrees Celsius. So, the rise in temperature of water from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Then here the temperature remains constant. It absorbs heat energy for the change of phase. The water changes into, converted into steam. So here, yes, now see the graph A, B, C. This part of the equation is represented by the portion AB of the graph. Yes, AB portion of the graph represents rise in temperature of water from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Yes, AB portion of the graph represents rise in temperature of the water from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. BC portion of the graph, at the point B the substance is in the liquid state. At the point C the substance is in the gaseous state, that is steam. but the point B and C are at the same temperature, that is 100 degrees Celsius. So BC portion of the graph represents change of phase. Which phase to which phase? Liquid state to gaseous state, which you call it as vaporization. That is, it represents the vaporization, and the temperature gives you the boiling point of the substance. Okay, the corresponding temperature will give you the boiling point of the substance. This boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so AB portion of the graph represents the rise in temperature of water from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. BC portion of the graph represents change of phase. That is, the substance changes from the liquid state to the gaseous state. This is the way you have to draw the graph. Okay, analyze the graph means each portion of the graph you have to specify how to do it. Okay, next one. We take the same thing, that is 0 degrees Celsius of ice to 0 degrees Celsius of water. On further providing heat energy, the temperature of water rises to 30 degrees Celsius. I rewrite the equation. We have taken ice at 0 degrees Celsius. You are providing the heat energy till the temperature rises to 30 degrees Celsius of water. Okay. So what are the steps involved here? 0 degrees Celsius of ice will absorb some amount of heat energy to convert itself completely into water at the same temperature. On further heating, it absorbs some amount of heat energy to raise its temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. The substance will remain in the same state, that is liquid state or water. Okay. Now if you observe, when 0 degrees Celsius of ice, when you are providing Q1 amount of heat energy, there is no change in temperature. The temperature remains constant. That means whatever heat energy you have provided, here you have provided Q1 amount of heat energy. The Q1 amount of heat energy is utilized by the substance for the change of phase. That is, here it is utilize that heat energy to change from the solid to the liquid state. Okay. So that it has not shown any rise in temperature. That means, when will the substance show the rise in temperature? Okay, in this case, you have provided the heat energy, but it is not externally manifested by the thermometer, so that the temperature remains constant. What is the reason for that? Because when the substance is making use of the given heat energy for the change of phase, here first one, it is in the solid state. In the solid state, the molecules are tightly packed. Okay. Whatever heat energy you have given, the substance have utilized that energy to increase the intermolecular spacing. In solid, the molecules are tightly packed. In liquid, the molecules are loosely packed. So this heat energy is used by the substance to increase the intermolecular spacing. Okay. That means this heat energy is used by the substance to increase its potential energy. Yes, as long as the temperature is constant, the kinetic energy will remain constant. Okay, we have studied in the introduction of calorimetry chapter the internal energy of the substance, yes, is the sum of potential and the kinetic energy of the molecules of the substance. Okay, when you are providing the heat energy, if the heat energy is utilized by the substance for the increase in temperature, yes, then that is whenever it is utilizing for increasing kinetic energy, that will be externally manifested by the thermometer. But if the substance has utilized the given heat energy for increasing its potential energy, then the kinetic energy will remain constant. Okay. During the change of phase, the kinetic energy will remain constant. The potential energy will increase on heating. Yes. But whenever there is a rise in temperature of the substance, there is no change of phase, but only the rise in temperature of the substance, then there will be increase in kinetic energy. That time the potential energy of the substance will remain constant. That means whenever there is a change of phase, ice to water, there is a change in potential energy. Whenever there is an increase in temperature only, but the substance remains in the same state, then there will be increase in kinetic energy. Okay. So during this process, the given heat energy is utilized by the substance to increase its potential energy. During the second one, the substance made use of the given energy, Q2 amount of energy, to increase its kinetic energy because it is externally manifested by the thermometer, that is increase in temperature. Okay. So whenever heat energy is provided, that will be absorbed by the body either to increase the potential energy or the kinetic energy. Yes, it makes you, that is, there will be increase in potential energy of the substance when there is a change of phase. There will be increase in kinetic energy when there is a change in temperature. Okay, increase in temperature. First process, if you see that ice at 0 degrees Celsius, when it is provided with Q1 amount of heat energy, that energy it absorbs to completely convert itself into water at the same temperature. Actually, the ice absorbed this amount of heat energy to increase the intermolecular spacing, because in liquid the molecules are separated apart, right? Distant. So, this energy is utilized by the molecules to increase the intermolecular spacing. That is, it is used to increase the potential energy, whereas the kinetic energy remains constant because the temperature remains constant. The second one, the Q2 amount of heat energy is absorbed by the substance to increase its temperature. That means it is utilized for increasing its kinetic energy. That time the potential energy will remain constant. So during the first process, potential energy increases, kinetic energy remains constant because the temperature remains constant. During the second one, the potential energy remains constant because the substance is in the same state. Okay. But there is a difference in temperature. There is an increase in temperature. That means there is an increase in kinetic energy. Is it clear? Okay. Now next one. The first process, if you see that, you have given Q1 amount of heat energy. But there is no change in temperature. No rise in temperature. That is, the temperature is not externally manifested by the thermometer. That means this energy is absorbed by the substance for the change of phase. Yes, so it is hidden in the substance. The heat energy what you have given is hidden in the substance. That heat, the hidden heat, we call it as latent heat. The hidden heat is called as the latent heat. The latent heat is represented by the symbol L. Okay. And when you are providing the heat energy here, the substance has made use of absorb that energy. Here in the case of ice, it has absorbed the energy to convert itself completely into liquid state, that is water, without change in temperature or at constant temperature. This we call it as latent heat. We represent mathematically. Latent heat L is given as L is equal to Q by M. Here Q represents the quantity of heat energy. M represents the mass of the substance. And L represents the latent heat. Yes, the latent heat L is equal to Q by M. Put it in the statement. Quantity of heat energy required to convert unit mass of the substance from one state to other state at constant temperature or without change in temperature. Latent heat is defined as the quantity of heat energy required to convert unit mass of the substance from one state to other state without change in temperature. Yes. Next come to the unit. Q represents quantity of heat energy. The SI unit of heat energy is joule. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. So the SI unit used to represent the latent heat is joule per kilogram. The SI unit used to represent the latent heat is joule per kilogram. Next one. See the first equation. 0 degrees Celsius of ice absorbs Q1 amount of heat energy to convert itself completely into water at the same temperature. Okay. Here the quantity of heat energy we call it as here we call it as latent heat of melting. This process we call it as melting. But the heat energy given is hidden. So we call it as latent heat of melting. Okay. Now if I say that latent heat of ice is 336 into 10 power 3 joule per kilogram. This is the value of latent heat of ice. What is the meaning of that one? If I say that latent heat of ice is equal to 336 into 10 power 3 joule per kilogram. What is the meaning of the statement? That means if I have 1 kilogram of ice, that is the mass of the ice is equal to 1 kilogram, it requires 336 into 10 power 3 joules of heat energy to convert itself completely into water without change in temperature. That is, ice at 0 degrees Celsius will be converted into water at 0 degrees Celsius without change in temperature. Yes, if I say that latent heat of ice is equal to 336 in 10 power 3 joule per kilogram, the meaning of the statement is 336 into 10 power 3 joules of heat energy is required to convert 1 kilogram of ice from the ice completely into water at 0 degrees Celsius without any change in temperature. Yes, this is the meaning of saying the latent heat of ice. Okay. Similarly, the latent heat of different substances are different. That means the quantity of heat energy required by the substance to change from one phase to another phase will be different. So, the latent heat value for different substances are also be different. Yes. Okay, students. So, before you attend the next class, please go through this change of phase. Today's class we have discussed change of phase, heating curve of ice during melting. The two graphs we have drawn is that is when the ice is that is melting curve for ice, and the next one that is heating curve for ice. The second one is heating curve for water. Two graphs we have studied. Okay. Next one, what are all the factors that will affect the melting point of the substance? Okay. The melting point of the substance is affected by two things. One is pressure. The other one is pressure. The other one is impurities present in the matter. Yes. The pressure and the impurities will affect the melting point of the substance. That only we call it as effect of pressure on melting point and effect of impurities on the melting point. How these factors will affect the melting point? Now, the melting point of the substance increases with increase in pressure. That is, as the pressure of the substance increases, the melting point of the substance will also increase. For what type of substances? The substances which expand on melting. Okay. All substances will not expand on melting. The substances which expand on melting, for such substances, the melting point increases with increase in pressure. Okay. That is, as the pressure increases, the melting point will also increase for substances which expand on melting. Example, wax, lead. These substances and all on melting, they expand. Okay. For such substances, the pressure increases, the melting point will also increase. Some substances like ice. Okay. Ice at 0 degrees Celsius if you take. Okay. On melting, it is converted into 0 degrees Celsius of water. But here it will contract. Yes. On melting, ice at 0 degrees Celsius contract. So for such substances, the melting point decreases with increase in pressure. That is, the substances which contract on melting, for such substances, the melting point decreases with increase in pressure. So the effect of pressure on the melting point is the melting point increases with increase in pressure for substances which expand on melting. Example, wax and lead. For substances which contract on melting, for such substances like ice at 0 degrees Celsius, the melting point decreases with increase in pressure. Next one, effect of impurities on the melting point. The addition of impurities will lower the melting point. The addition of impurities will lower the melting point. For example, ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. If salt is added to ice in proper proportion, the melting point of ice can be reduced to 22 degrees Celsius. That is, the addition of impurities will lower the melting point. Example, normally pure ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. If you add salt in proper proportion with ice, The melting point of ice can be lowered up to minus 22 degrees Celsius. This process is used in freezing mixture and also in the preparation of kulfis. Okay, these are all the effect of pressure and impurities on the melting point. Okay, addition of impurities will lower the melting point. This ice example you can give. Okay, yes students, before you attend the next class, go through all these things. Next class we will discuss about some consequences of latent heat of ice and also few numerical problems. Yes, take care.